small one law is there. I forgot to tell that law in the last class. Henry's law. Henry's law. Henry's law, at any given temperature, mass of a gas by a fixed volume of a liquid is directly proportional to the pressure on the surface of the liquid. That is called Henry's law. Mass at any given temperature, at any given temperature, the mass of a gas in a liquid dissolved by a fixed volume of given temperature, mass of a gas dissolved by a fixed volume of water. At any given temperature, mass of a gas dissolved by a fixed volume of liquid, is directly proportional to the pressure on the surface of the liquid. Pressure on the surface of the liquid. That is called Henry's law. That may ask in the exam for 1 or 2 marks. So state Henry's law. It means at any given temperature, mass of a gas dissolved by a fixed volume of liquid. Mass of a gas dissolved by a fixed volume of liquid is directly proportional to the pressure on the surface of the liquid. That is called Henry's law. And next, we will move to the next topic now. That is hydrated and anhydrous substances. Hydrated and anhydrous substances. First, hydrated substance. What is the hydrated substance? This substance which contain water molecule along with their salts. Substance which contain water molecule along with their salts. That is called hydrated substance. Substance which contain water molecule along with their salts. For example, sodium carbonate decahydrate. Now I am talking about the hydrated substance. Sodium carbonate decahydrate. Sodium carbonate decahydrate. Sodium carbonate decahydrate. Deca means how much? Deca means how much? Deca means how much? Yes, 10. Deca means 10. Sodium carbonate decahydrate. Can you tell me the sodium carbonate formula? Sodium carbonate molecular formula? Sodium carbonate molecular formula? Na2CO3. Sodium carbonate, Na2CO3, decahydrate, 10H2O. That's it. So Na2CO3, sodium carbonate formula is so Na2CO3, decahydrate. Deca means 10, 10H2O. 10H2O. So hydrated substance nothing but substance which contain water molecule along with the salts. It is one salt that contains the water molecule. That's why it is called hydrated substance. So I have one more example. Copper sulfate pentahydrate. Copper sulfate. Copper sulfate pentahydrate. Copper sulfate formula, molecule formula. Copper sulfate molecular formula?
CuSO4.
CuSO4 penta. Penta stands for how much? 5 pentahydrate. So CuSO4 5H2O 5H2O. After writing that chemical formula, put one dot there. Then write the how much water content is there. That you should write there. Decahydrate dot 10H2O, pentahydrate dot 5H2O. Okay. So have you understood what is hydrated substance? The substance which contain water molecule along with their salts. And so sodium carbonate decahydrate, that is the molecule formula. General formula, general name is there, common name is there. Common name, can you tell me the common name of sodium carbonate? Common name? Common name of sodium carbonate? Washing soda. Washing soda. So that is the common name of sodium carbonate. Washing soda crystals. Common name. This is the common name of sodium carbonate decahydrate. Sodium carbonate decahydrate common name is washing soda crystals. If they ask you to write the molecular formula, Na2CO3 10H2O, sodium carbonate decahydrate, and copper sulfate pentahydrate. Copper sulfate pentahydrate. And the next Epsom salt. That is also one hydrated substance. Epsom salt. Epsom salt. That is a so its molecular formula is MgSO4 7H2O. Epsom salt. Epsom salt. So this is the common name I am writing now. Common name. This is the common name. So its molecular formula. Molecular formula MgSO4 7H2O. 7. You can tell me the chemical name now. Magnesium sulfate. For 7, what you will tell? Deca 10, penta 5. For 7, what you will tell? Hecta. Yes, hecta. So magnesium sulfate, hectahydrate. So that is also a hydrated substance. And one more you will give. So Glauber salt. Yesterday in class you learned, no? Glauber salt molecular formula. Glauber salt molecular formula.
Sir, Na2SO4 10H2O.
Na2SO4 10H2O. Glauber salt. Glauber salt. Na2 yes, Na2SO4 10H2O. Now can you tell the name? Chemical name? Glauber salt.
Sodium sulfate decahydrate.
Yes, sodium sulfate decahydrate. So these are few examples for the hydrated substance. Keep it in mind. Hydrated substance means the substance which contain water molecule along with their salts. That is called hydrated substance. Clear? And anhydrous substance also is there. So you see in a so next first one hydrated, next anhydrous. What do you mean by anhydrous? Anhydrous. What do you mean by anhydrous? Yes? The substance which do not contain water along with their salts, that is anhydrous. Substance which do not contain water along with their salts, that is, they are called anhydrous substances. Clear? Hydrous substance means it contain water molecule along with their salts. Anhydrous means opposite to the hydrous. That's it. So which substance which do not contain water along with their salts. So for example, sodium chloride, potassium nitrate. Anhydrous substance. do not contain water in the salt. Water in the salt. That is called anhydrous substance. For example, sodium chloride, potassium nitrate. Example, sodium chloride, potassium nitrate, KNO3. These are anhydrous substance. So anhydrous substance which do not contain water molecule along with the salts. That is anhydrous substance. Example, sodium chloride and potassium nitrate. So this is regarding about the hydrated substance and anhydrous substance. I hope that you understand this concept. Then I'll move to next now. Water of crystallization. Water of crystallization. Water of crystallization. Water of crystallization means what? Water of crystallization. Water of crystallization means fixed amount of water that is associated with the compounds. That is fixed amount of water that is associated with the compounds, which is an integral part of the crystalline structure. The fixed amount of water is associated with their compounds, which is an integral part of the crystalline structure. When you studying the hydrated substance, you learn now 10H2O, sodium carbonate, 10H2O decahydrate. The fixed amount of water 10H2O, and pentahydrate, copper sulfate pentahydrate 5H2O. Fixed amount of water associated with the compounds. So copper sulfate, it is one compound, is it? Copper sulfate is one of the compound. Fixed amount of water is there, 5H2O. Okay, so that is the fixed amount of water. So fixed amount of water is associated with the compounds, which is an integral part of the crystalline structure. That water also is helpful to form the crystalline structure. So integral part of the crystalline structure, that is called water of crystallization. I will write the definition now. Look at the board now. A fixed amount of water composed is an integral part of their crystalline structure. Integral part of the crystalline structure, that is called water of crystallization. A fixed amount of water associated with the compounds, which is an integral part of the crystalline structure. If that amount of water is present, that is responsible for the formation of that crystal. For example, I told that sodium carbonate decahydrate, so 10H2O, fixed amount of water is there, and copper sulfate pentahydrate, 5H2O, fixed amount of water is there, and Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate, heptahydrate, MgSO4, 7H2O, fixed amount of water is present. That is responsible for the formation of the crystalline structure. That is called water of crystallization. You can see in your textbook there, they gave page number 43. You can see your textbook. Okay, some of the common names, chemical name and formula. Okay, now look at there. First one, washing soda crystal. As I told, sodium carbonate decahydrate, Na2CO3, 10H2O, and potash alum. Second one, Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate, heptahydrate, and third one, potash alum, hydrated potassium aluminium sulfate. Look at the formula, K2SO4, Al2SO4 thrice, 24H2O. 24 fixed amount of water should be present. That is called water of crystallization. That is responsible for the formation of the crystals. Okay, so these are few examples. So then, how to remove this water of crystallization from the compound? How to remove the water of crystallization from the compounds? So take that compound which contains the water molecule. So if you heat to the 100 degrees Celsius, if you heat to the 100 degrees Celsius, that time the water molecule present in that substance that will start to evaporate. Then the evaporated substance, if you condense it, that will present in the form of liquid. If you test that liquid, that is the water. Now that water is completely removed from that compound. So how to remove the water molecule from that substance? So heat that substance to the 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, when you heat to the 100 degrees Celsius, the water molecule present in that substance start to evaporate. So collect that evaporated and condense it. Collect that evaporation and condense it. So that time the collected evaporation substance present in the form of liquid. If you test that liquid, that is the water. And that is, the water is completely removed from that substance. That time it will become hydrated or anhydrous. How to remove it? Heat that substance to the 100 degrees Celsius. That time the water present in that molecule start to evaporate and collect that evaporated and condense it. If you the condense, that is present in the form of liquid. Okay, so if you test that liquid, that is the water. Now we can tell that it is the hydrated substance become anhydrous. So this is the procedure. Okay, and few more methods are there to remove the water molecule from the substance. That is the first method. Okay, by heating. This is by heating. Clear? So one procedure is there. You can see there. One experiment is there in your textbook. You can read that one. Experiment. So to show that hydrated copper sulfate crystals contain water of crystallization. So an experiment is given. You can read that yourself. Okay. Now as I told, anhydrous, how to remove the anhydrous? There are one method I told there, by heating. And few more methods are there. The first one by direct heating, as I told, and second one heating in dry and hot air. So method to remove the water from the substance. First method is direct heating. And second method heating in dry and hot air. Heating dry and dry and hot air. That time also the substance that contain water molecule, if you heat that one, heating in a dry and hot air, water molecule will remove from that substance. And so one more method is there, heating under vacuum. Third method, heating under vacuum. And the last method by using the desiccating agents. Desiccating agent means, for example, concentrated sulfuric acid. The concentrated sulfuric acid acts as a desiccating agent. By using desiccating agents. So these are the four methods to remove the water molecule from the substance that will become the anhydrous. First method is by direct heating, and second method heating in a dry and hot air. And third method heating under vacuum. And the last method by using the desiccating agent, for example concentrated sulfuric acid, that acts as a desiccating agent, that you learn in the next topic. Okay, don't think that what it is, you learn in the next topic, desiccating agents. So concentrated sulfuric acid acts as a desiccating agent to remove the water molecule from the substance So these are the method. You can follow. If you follow this method, that time the water molecule present in that substance it will removed. Hydrated will become anhydrous. Hydrated will become anhydrous. And one more example. So for the anhydrous substance, I told the example. First one is the sodium chloride, another one is the potassium nitrate, and potassium nitrate that is also called nitrate. Potassium nitrate that is also called nitrate. Nitrate. I will write here. First one sodium chloride. Second one nitrate. Nitrate means KNO3. Potassium nitrate. Nitrate. And ammonium chloride, NH4Cl. Ammonium chloride. Sugar. Ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride, NH4Cl. And third one sugar, sucrose, C6, sucrose, that is glucose, C6H22 vola. Sugar, that is the sucrose. This is also example for the anhydrous substance. Okay, which do not contain water molecule. And one more potassium permanganate, KMNO4. Potassium permanganate. These are the example for the anhydrous substance which do not contain the water molecule. Crystalline substance which do not contain water of crystallization. First example is the sodium chloride, NaCl, and second one nitrate. It means potassium nitrate. Okay, and third one ammonium chloride, NH4Cl, ammonium chloride. Okay, and next one, third one, 5 are there, and fourth one sugar, that is sucrose, C12H22O11, sucrose. Okay, and the next one, the last one, potassium permanganate, potassium KMNO4. Okay, potassium permanganate. So these are the few anhydrous substance. Now I will move to the properties. The first property, efflorescence. Just I will tell you what is efflorescence. Efflorescence. What is efflorescence? Efflorescence. Phenomena where compound loses its water crystallization when exposed to dry air. Phenomena where compound loses its water crystallization. Phenomenon where compound loses its water crystallization. When the compound exposed to the dry air. So as I told, how to remove the water from the substance. So some of the methods I told, no. So in that method, dry air, hot and dry air, that is also one of the method. So same procedure you have to apply here. Efflorescence nothing but the phenomenon where a compound loses its water molecule. When exposed to dry air. Compound where loses its water molecule when exposed to the dry air, that is called efflorescence. That process is called efflorescence. So during this process, the crystalline structure will lose its shape. Okay, so efflorescence nothing but phenomena where a compound loses its water molecule when exposed to the when the substance that is exposed to the air, dry air, that time it loses its water molecule. The process that is called efflorescence. During this process, so the crystal will lose its shape. Crystal will lose its shape. And few examples are there. Efflorescent substance. Example for the efflorescent substance. First one is the washing soda. Washing soda, as I told, sodium carbonate, decahydrate. Sodium carbonate, decahydrate. If you for the washing soda crystal, if you pass the if you pass the dry air, what will happen? Look at the example now. I will write on the board. For the washing soda crystal, now I am passing dry air. Sodium carbonate, Na2CO3, 10H2O. Is it? This is the efflorescence. For this one, if you pass the dry air, if you pass the dry air, that time it will become here. How many water is there? How much amount of water is there? 10H2O, decahydrate. Decahydrate is converted into the monohydrate. So Na2, CO3, H2O. So 10H2O. So 10H2O is there. For that one, if you pass the dry air, that will become monohydrate. Decahydrate is going to change into the monohydrate, as I told. So definition indicates that the phenomena where compound loses its water molecule when exposed to the dry air. One more example. This is about the first example and second example. Epsom salt. Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate, Epsom salt, MgSO4, 7H2O. Epsom salt. So MgSO4, heptahydrate, 7H2O. For this one, if you pass the dry air, that time it will become MgSO4 monohydrate. Mono means one. Mono. Okay. Monohydrate. Now look at that. So it reduces the water content. So how much it reduces? 7H2O become monohydrate. Heptahydrate will become monohydrate. So this is the few examples regarding about the efflorescent substance. The phenomena where compound loses its water molecule when exposed to the dry air. Okay, that is called efflorescence. The phenomenon that is called efflorescence. And one more thing, while during this process, the crystalline loses its shape. And few examples I told there: sodium washing soda crystal and Epsom salt, and similarly Glauberol salt. Glauberol salt molecular formula: Glauber salt Na2SO4, 10H2O. That is also 10 decahydrate is there. That is going to change into the monohydrate.